Friends, a true Muslim is a fundamentalist and extremist. Rather, if you say that those who are not fundamentalists and extremists are not Muslims, then it will not be wrong. Let's talk about extremism in the fundamentals of Islam to understand this. Kalima Tayyiba, by reciting which one enters the fortress of Islam, is first of all verbal confession and heart confirmation of the oneness of Allah subhanahu ta'ala. Unless one firmly believes in it, one cannot be a Muslim. Believing in Allah subhanahu ta'ala, he cannot associate any fabricated deity of the world with the eternal kingdom of Allah subhanahu ta'ala. That is the negation of the gods of all other religions. Don't you recommend it fundamentalism and extremism? In the second part of Kalima Tayyiba, until a person does not confirm verbally and heartily the prophethood and servitude of Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam and does not accept him as the seal of the prophets, he cannot claim faith at all. That is, do not allow anyone else to participate in the prophethood of the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Don't you recommend it fundamentalism and extremism? Faith is acknowledgement of the Islamic doctrine of the existence of the angels and their reality with complete rejection of the teachings of any other religion, such as participation of Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam in the divinity or recognizing the angels Nauzu billah as daughters of Allah, is faith. Don't you recommend it fundamentalism and extremism? Accepting the Quran Majid Furqan Hamid as the final guidance from Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala and considering the other three books, the Torah, the Psalms and the Gospel as distorted and abrogated is the real faith. That is the denial of the practical status of the books of all other religions except the Holy Quran. Don't you recommend it fundamentalism and extremism? Faith is the verbal and heartfelt confession of being resurrected after death and giving an account of one's deeds. Establishment of the balance, accountability of deeds, witnessing of the body parts, finality of heaven or hell, having faith according to the Islamic values, and not having belief like Jews of deserving heaven for just being the descendants of the prophets, or having belief of be deserving heaven despite of any kind of deeds like Christians. A complete negation of any other religion's belief in the hereafter. Don't you recommend it fundamentalism and extremism? Complete belief that Allah, under His ancient and eternal knowledge, has already written the destiny in the form of fate on the Lohe Mahfuz is faith. Even in this faith, the justification of any other religion in the world is totally rejected. Don't you still recommend it fundamentalism or extremism? All these things are related to our faith. Now tell me, in which of these Islam has flexibility for other religions? In other words, a person who has any kind of flexibility in these beliefs can be called a Muslim by any means? Of course, the answer would be absolutely not. Then you tell me what else is called fundamentalism and extremism. Let's look at this from another angle. The building of Islam stands on 5 pillars. The first pillar is faith, which has already been explained. The second pillar is prayer. 5 times a day it is compulsory to establish salat at scheduled time. You cannot increase or decrease the obligatory prayers. You can't change even the time. Neither can you perform it before the time nor after the time. But as qaza, you can perform it after the time. But still you are bound. The condition for salat is being in your senses. Otherwise, there is no forgiveness under any circumstances. If some salahs are short in life, then it is necessary to perform qaza before death. No choice of any kind was given in offering salah. Don't you recommend it fundamentalism and extremism? In the month of Ramadan, it is obligatory for every healthy non-traveling Muslim to fast for the entire month. It is necessary to observe the missed fasts of Ramadan as soon as possible after Ramadan. Fasts missed due to illness or travel must also be completed as soon as possible in the state of health and stay. If there is no hope of health, even then there is no relaxation. You must have to pay fidya for every missing fast. Even after paying fidya, you get recovered. Then you will still have to complete the missing fast. No relaxation or discount is given here either. Don't you recommend it, fundamentalism and extremism? If a Muslim owns wealth exceeding his needs for a full year beyond nisab limit, then it is obligatory on him to pay 2.5% zakat. No concessions of any kind have been given in this too. Some tribes refused to give zakat after the death of the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq raziyallahu ta'ala anhu, the first caliph of Islam, after being suggested politeness by Hazrat Umar Farooq raziyallahu ta'ala anhu, said, in the blessed time of Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, if someone used to give a rope along with the camel to tie its knee, and now he gives a camel but not a rope, I will fight with him too. Islam does not give any kind of concession even here. Don't you recommend it, fundamentalism and extremism? If a Muslim can afford the expenses of Hajj and can also cover the expenses incurred for his family during this period, then Hajj is also obligatory on him. That is, if he dies without performing a Hajj, he is a sinner and also accountable for that at the great day of judgment. Here also, he is not given any kind of freedom or exception. Now again, my question is still the same. What else do you call fundamentalism and extremism if not this? Now let's talk about the Islamic Sharia punishments. Ear for ear, nose for nose, murder for murder. The punishment of theft is amputation of hand. The punishment for adultery is 70 lashes for the unmarried and stoning till death for the married ones. Don't you recommend it, fundamentalism and extremism? The one who denies these punishments, but also the one who expresses his disapproval, should have nothing to do with the Islam. Every action of a Muslim makes him deserving of reward or punishment, no in between. A Muslim will go to heaven or complete the punishment for his sins in hell. Above all, the demand for Muslims in the Holy Quran, "O you who believe, enter completely in Islam as a whole." Not even 99%, completely 100%. The Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam said, "None of you can be a believer until he loves me more than his wealth, parents, children, and even his life." Where is freedom? Where is the relaxation? Where is the moderation? Friends, it is to make you understand that a Muslim is a fundamentalist and an extremist. Because without fundamentalism and extremism, a Muslim can never be a perfect believer. Friends, if you like this presentation of mine and you agree with it, then must share it with your loved ones. And yes, don't forget to press the bell icon, because only then you will be able to get my new upcoming videos. Long live Islam!